o'clock, you're watching The Globe, and we're giving you live pictures of the ANC conference, their dinner before the conference begins in earnest tomorrow. The president of the African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa, has just delivered a message to those that are present at the dinner. And his message really is to welcome the delegates and set them up for the next 5 days of conversation. It is a big conference because this conference is going to be electing its leadership. At the moment, President Cyril Ramaphosa has the biggest number of nominations for the presidential position, and one waits to see who will be nominated from the floor and how this conference plays out. One that we watched by millions across the country to try and see where the future of the country will lie. The governing party, always a significant moment for not just them, but the country in general. So there are a number of people who've been watching this process and thinking about what might lie ahead. And one of them is our first guest this evening. Father Smangaliso Mkhatshwa is the chairperson of the Moral Regeneration movement and an ANC veteran. He joins us now via Zoom to take a look at what to expect over the weekend's conference. Father Mkhatshwa, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Peter. I look forward to the conference because I'm invited and I'll be attending.
All right, you've seen this conference process a number of times. As journalists, we sometimes get quite excited and say things like a key conference, a turning point for the party. How do you see this conference in the history of the African National Congress?
Well, the fact that there's so much focus on this particular conference by not only members of the ANC, but by the public in general, for me shows the importance of this conference as what one would like to describe as really and truly a watershed conference, in the sense that the country as a whole is facing very critical challenges. And therefore the country and its people are looking for the best possible leadership to take this country forward. I'm saying so advisedly because it's not only just about members of the ANC. The decisions that will be taken will have an impact on the country as a whole, as it has always been. In this particular instance, it means that whatever leadership is put in place will definitely play a major or significant role in the 2024 general election. So this is not a pickaninny conference or the usual conference. It is a groundbreaking conference. And that's why, therefore, all of us are particularly interested in what is going to happen. And linked to that, I think one can confidently also say that any responsible member of the ANC must admit that we need the best leaders among ourselves. We need to ensure that we've got men and women, young and old, who are visionary, who share the vision of this country, not only what we decided over the past 28 years, which of course is true, but even before that, there was a vision that was spelled out by the Freedom Charter, and even before that, throughout the history of the ANC, there's always been a vision. And that's why we refer to the ANC refers to itself as the leader of society. So it's not just the leader of ANC members, it's the leader of society with all what that implies. Hence, therefore, the critical nature, I think, of this conference.
Father Mkhatshwa, some of us are old enough to remember voting in 1994. And there was a sense of the ANC being revered. There was a sense that it was a given that this was the party that represented the people, and the results showed that. One's starting to get a sense that people don't revere the party as much as they used to. People certainly aren't voting for the party in the way that they used to. How does the party win back the same kind of support and reverence that it enjoyed yesteryear?
People are not stupid. I'm talking now even about the ordinary people. When they feel that being cheated or undermined, when they feel that promises that were made actually have not been adequately attended to, when people really feel that the country perhaps would need to undergo dramatic changes, I think that's what makes it very interesting in this particular case, because people have known the generation of Oliver Tambo, someone who was very trusted, loved, almost adored. Same generation as Mandela and his colleagues and so on, and people that were, involved with the struggle together with him. But let me also add another dimension that is often forgotten, and that is, it was not just the struggle of the ANC waged from thousands of kilometers out there. There were thousands of people who remained in the country, made their contribution, mobilized the masses of the people, made the people ungovernable, obviously working very closely with the leadership of the African National Congress. And I do remember, almost from personal experience, that whenever Oliver Tambo made a statement in Lusaka, literally within 2 weeks, that statement would have been produced, and lots of people, practically all over the country, I'm talking now about the activists, the comrades and so on, will have read it and discussed it. I know that for a fact, and what I also don't always know is, how did the comrades internally get that right? The communication systems and the networks were formidable, which therefore, in a sense, made it very easy for the ANC that was outside, ANC that was also internal, to be able to consolidate and organize a mighty struggle, which finally brought about the liberation. So, to respond again, to add to your question, I must be honest that I think some people looking at what is happening now, where we are now, they're very thoroughly disenchanted. Now, disenchanted does not therefore mean that they've lost all hope, but in other words, their hope, they feel that they have not always received exactly what they had expected or anticipated, rightly or wrongly, or maybe they had exaggerated expectations. That's another question. But the truth of the matter is that I think there's lots of people out there, they're feeling that they've been let down. And that's why therefore this conference becomes extremely important for the leadership, new leadership, to be able to say, this is where we are. The people feel disappointed. They feel they've been let down. And there are concrete examples of why they are feeling that way. We have learned from that. And as a new leadership, if at all we are wise men and women, young and old, let us try and make sure that we change course. And I think this project of renewal, although of course it's understood and misunderstood in different ways, is so important, because by renewal, we're not simply just saying, well, let's go back to where we were, but we're saying, here is a new situation and environment in which we find ourselves. Let us learn, what is it that we can learn from the past? What mistakes have we made? What can we learn for us to be able to chart a new course going forward? So that's why it's a very exciting conference. It's more than just the usual routine conference.
Father Mkhatshwa, it's been a pleasure, as always, to talk to you. Thank you so much. Perhaps we can catch up a little bit more after the conference and you can reflect for us. Thanks for your time this evening.
Thank you very much, Peter, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, that's Father Smangaliso Mkhatshwa, who says that he's been invited to be at the ANC conference this weekend, and he has hopes that the party will find itself, the ANC celebrating its, holding its 55th national conference.